Prince Andrew avoids injury after losing control of horse near Royal Lodge home. Prince Andrew narrowly avoided a potentially dangerous accident near his Royal Lodge home. The disgraced prince nearly fell off his horse during a Monday morning ride through the Windsor Estate as the Duke of York's black mare showed signs of distress. The horse threw its head in the air and thrashed around, appearing to catch the Duke by surprise and knock him off balance, leaving him clinging to the reins, reports GB News. After a jittery few minutes spent grappling with the mare, the king's brother, a skilled horseman, calmed the frightened animal by leaning back and stabilising himself. Prince Andrew, who wore a black riding helmet and khaki rain-proof jacket, was then able to continue on his way. Andrew has been keeping a low profile amid his bitter feud with King Charles over Royal Lodge. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. He has been told by the king to leave Royal Lodge and move into more affordable accommodation. Charles suggested Andrew downsize to Frogmore Cottage, the former home of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Like the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Andrew lost his right to taxpayer-funded security after being stripped of his royal duties. Earlier this month, the Duke was told his reported £1 million a year allowance would also be withdrawn. An updated biography by royal commentator Robert Hardman alleged the monarch instructed his keeper of the Privy Purse to sever Andrew's annual personal allowance. He relied on the allowance to fund his living expenses and security team. However, the Duke has since convinced palace authorities to let him stay as he is able to cover the costs himself, according to reports in the Times. Andrew has proved that he has sufficient funds from legitimate sources to support himself, though it has not been confirmed where the money has come from. Prince Andrew teaches granddaughter Sienna, 3, to horse ride on Windsor Estate. The Duke of York was joined by his granddaughter Sienna for his morning horse ride in Windsor on Tuesday. Princess Beatrice and Edoardo Mopelli-Mozzi's daughter, 3, was wrapped up warm against the November chill as she was guided on a pony around the paddock. The tot appears to be following in the footsteps of her family members, including her grandmother, Sarah, Duchess of York, who learnt how to ride a horse from a young age. Even the most confident of riders can come unstuck on occasion, as Andrew, 62, almost took a tumble from his horse when it began to trot vigorously. But the Duke quickly regained composure without falling as the animal settled during its morning walk. Andrew and Sarah reside at nearby Royal Lodge, and despite calls from his brother, the King, to downsize amid the rising renovations for the Grade 2 listed property, the Duke has reportedly found the means to cover the costs himself. Citing a source, author Robert Hardman revealed in an updated version of his biography, Charles III, New King. New Court. The inside story, the Duke is no longer a financial burden on the King, confirms one familiar with the situation. He claims to have found other sources of income related to his contacts in international trade, sufficient to cover all his costs, which would be a welcome outcome for all parties if that turns out to be the case. But as to whether this funding can be relied upon in the long term is another matter. Robert also shared why Andrew is determined to remain living at Royal Lodge on the latest episode of Hello's A Right Royal podcast. Meanwhile, little Sienna is set to become a big sister next year, as her mother Beatrice is currently pregnant with her second child. The baby is due in early spring, with Buckingham Palace confirming the happy news in October. Sienna has an older half-brother, Christopher Wolfe, known as Wolfie, 8, from Eduardo's relationship with American architect Dara Huang. Beatrice and Eduardo's daughter, who was born on the 18th of September 2021, has never been publicly photographed, with the couple opting not to share images of their daughter's face to protect her privacy online. Their second baby together will be the great-nephew or niece of the King, and will be 11th in line to the front behind his or her big sister, Sienna. The child will not have an official royal title, as Edoardo did not receive one from the late Queen Elizabeth II upon his marriage to Beatrice in 2020. Prince Andrew makes big royal lodge change after battle with King Charles. The royal set to make a number of changes in Royal Lodge with the help of his son-in-law after winning his battle with King Charles. Prince Andrew will not be moving out of Royal Lodge and is instead investing in the property with a major makeover. The ongoing row-over who will reside in Royal Lodge has seen many ups and downs, with Andrew currently holding the lease for the property, which he signed a 75-year lease in 2004 and is located on the Windsor Estate. According to reports, Prince Andrew has managed to secure funding from legitimate sources in order to maintain his lifestyle and stay in the residence. He is now enlisting the help of his son-in-law to help spruce the property up, including undergoing a modern makeover, The Sun reports. Andrew's daughter, Princess Beatrice, is married to Edo Mopelli Mozzi, who is the founder and chief executive of Banda Property, a property development and interior design company. Mozzi is reportedly advising the Duke of York on how best to transform the 30-room Royal Lodge property. Mozzi has also been spotted visiting the prized property in recent weeks, with a large skip spotted at the end of summer seen outside the sprawling property. The much-needed makeover comes after recent pictures revealed the dire state the property was in, with paint peeling off walls and the interior in a cluttered state. The task to redo Royal Lodge will undoubtedly come easy to Mozzi, as his job involves comprehensive and bespoke services of property search and interior design for the ultimate rich list, with clients around the world including LA, New Delhi, Milan, the Alps, Louisiana, and the Hamptons. Mozzi is also no stranger to royal makeovers, as himself and Beatrice recently refurbished their Oxfordshire country house. Prince Andrew forced to splash out on cut-price security after Charles axes £3 million fund. Prince Andrew has reportedly been forced to take on the financial burden for security at his Windsor home after King Charles allegedly refused to fork out the £3 million a year costs. A recent tell-all book claimed King Charles cut off his support, including for the security at Andrew's 30-room Royal Lodge in Windsor. Despite the controversies swirling around him, the 64-year-old Duke of York has apparently hired a less expensive security service for the property he's determined to keep. Without a job but with links to wealthy figures, it is suggested that Andrew is covering the new security expenses using funds from the Middle East. His daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, have notably engaged in speaking events in Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. A source disclosed to The Sun, he has his security but at a cheaper rate, and he is managing to finance it himself. He has dug his heels in and is refusing to move, so found a way to finance his security. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments, and most importantly don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.